ladies and gentlemen. President Benigno S. Aquino is here to take your questions. Good afternoon, Mr. President.
Good afternoon.
Mr. President, your first question will be coming from Mia Gonzalez.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, can you update us on efforts to evacuate Filipinos from Libya and how difficult is it at this point?
Pwede mo magbigay muna sa inyo ng konting geography lesson kaya may dala-dala tayo mapa. Hopefully you can see it, no? This is Libya and white. Ang neighbors niya, Tunisia, Egypt, Algeria, Chad. Okay, meron rin dito Sudan. Siguro naman, I think most of us are aware of current affairs. Medyo hindi pa ganun ka-clear ang sitwasyon sa Egypt. Tunisia also. Tunisia was the first, di ba? So, in contrast to Lebanon situation, Lebanon had Syria that was stable. Lebanon had one portion of its boundary with Israel as the focal point of the troubles. Okay. Tripoli is here, Benghazi is here, opposite ends of the country. Okay. Benghazi has traditionally been opposition country vis-a-vis Muammar Gaddafi. Si Gaddafi has been perceived as a stable regime. If I can make you recall, there was an attempt by the U.S. government at some point in time. There was a bombing on his parang tents, if I'm not mistaken, which was his residence, sometime in the late 70s. Anyway, our only presence, like typically of all our missions everywhere, we only have a presence in the capital, which is Tripoli. We don't have a consulate in Benghazi. Okay, again, opposite end. So that's the first difficulty. Next, if we move them, get them out of the troubled area, where exactly do we bring them to? Susunod dito sa Malta. Malta is the nearest. Okay. Malta naman, you will have to go by ship. Marami rin yung ports, like the port of Tobruk, we understand, has also been closed. Pag yung closed, yung airports also have been closed. Meaning the airport in Tripoli, the airport in Benghazi has been closed. There was a firm that sent 2 planes to recover their employees. Unfortunately, one has been stranded in Tripoli. The other one didn't even get to land in Libya. Okay. So ano ba ang efforts natin dito? So, in contrast ko muna, Egypt. Egypt, the 6,000, close to 7,000 Filipino citizens we have can be roughly characterized as either students or domestic helpers, meaning people who will have less ability to be able to take care of themselves, hence the need to better attend to them. In Libya, most of them, about 26,000, most of the 26,000 rather, based on the POA figures, are professionals. The professionals belong to multinational corporations that have had their own evacuation plans. Okay, so yung first part, if there is a need, kasi there are 4 alert levels, Yung fourth, which calls for evacuation, is in coordination with these companies, and we have been in touch with them and the recruiting agencies here. And yung those that will not be taken by their employers, those are the ones we are preparing for. Towards that end, we have been negotiating with both PAL and a Middle Eastern airline, I think it's a Qatar Airways, to lease their planes to be able to bring back to the country those of our citizens who would want to come back here. Yung cost involved roughly is about 13 million pesos per flight, and will handle about between 200 to 300 per flight. Okay. There is already a standby fund accessible to our embassy, the DFA, and the DOLE, amounting to at least 100 million pesos at this point in time. But there are substantial funds that can still be released if there is a need to physically evacuate all of our citizens. The problem with actual evacuation is that, as you all know, there has been a lot of killings already in Libya, close to 300 according to the media reports. And the question of safety of moving our people from wherever to their destination also has to take in mind whether it increases the risks. Siyempre, yung confrontations will be where the people are massing up and where the security forces have taken very violent and drastic actions against them. And unfortunately, like I would assume, like our country, you will have to pass through yung major thoroughfares that might bring you closer to where the potential for violence exists. Hence, you have to be very, very cautious that you do not increase their danger by unnecessarily moving them from point A to point B. Okay? So let me just consult my notes, no? Okay, so we have gone from alert levels 1. One is basically in precautionary measures, advising everybody to take the necessary steps. Alert level 2 calls for restricted movement. Alert level 3, where we are now, is yung calls for relocation and or voluntary repatriation. So far, there has not been a call to move to the last level, in level 4, which is enforced evacuation for all of our citizens. Okay, I understand that we've already had one citizen come back. He passed through Egypt. There is a new group of 96, no? They will first go to France. Yung French firm ang employees nila, they will be bringing some of their own expatriates to France first. Then this 96 will be coming to the Philippines. So, there's been criticism that we have not been handling or attending to them. That is not correct. There are severe limitations on what we can do. No? At I would like to emphasize, no, perhaps if we were as rich a country as America, then we could have consulates everywhere and anywhere. But the truth of the matter is, be it Egypt, be it Korea, no? And in Korea, we demonstrated our capabilities already. We have a contingent roughly about 25 or less. Now, towards that end, we have also sent 6 members of the DFA to assist, no, the embassy there, plus how many in the plus 5 from Dole. So we have sent 11 additional personnel to assist our citizens in Libya. The way it works is it's not the embassy that goes out to each and every citizen we have in the country. No? We work with civic associations, various other NGOs, the firms that have employed them to be able to collect our people and put them to areas of less risk. Yeah.
Sir, what message can you give to the families of Filipinos who are stranded in certain places and have no way of going to safer areas?
Well, doon sa mga stranded na areas, so the embassy, I was in touch actually with the ambassador yesterday. And we are prioritizing dapat yung mga tao nga na hindi kabilang doon sa mga kumpanya na may kanya-kanya may evacuation plans. Kumbaga, yung sinisigurado natin na lahat ma-account, lahat maabisuhan. No? Tapos, hindi lang po tayo dito ang gumagawa ng paraan. Membro po tayo ng International Organization of Migration. So they are also, IOM for short, they are also they're drawing up plans and actualizing these plans to safeguard all of these migrants who are working in Libya. So we are participating in their efforts. We are also asking their assistance, no, to assist our citizens.
Sir, the next question is from Christine Avendaño of the Philippine Daily Inquirer.
Sir, so what's the assessment, sir? Like how many are we gonna move, sir, from Libya, sir?
Mahirap mag-assess, Christine, dahil hindi nga natin ma-assess yung political situation sa Libya. I mean, there are reports, for instance, that a lot of the security forces of Gaddafi are non-residents. They're non-Libyans. So, and exactly how long will there be violence against its own people? How long before the people engage in their own violence? The best that we can do, I think, at this point in time is first, no, instead of picking each and every one from their individual places of employment or residences, then have them in more manageable groups so that when the opportunity arises that we can bring them to another country, be it by boat or be it by planes or be it overland routes, then we will be able to do so with the least amount of risk possible. So we have to be guided by yung risk assessment. And the risk assessment for a situation like Libya is very, very fluid. No, it does and can change. And then you have statements from both Gaddafi and the son saying, parang they're talking about blood and the last bullet and all of that. That doesn't really calm the situation any. Now, again, these are the countries that were considered the most stable. Egypt, Libya, all of these leaders have been there for over 2 decades. Now, I guess everybody did not realize how Parang this was the moment that it will all suddenly not be stable.
Sir, like this na lang. So parang for now, ilan yung we are prepared to move out from Libya and from Egypt? Yung preparations
it will
natin right
be,
now.
I assume it will be the first contingent of about, yung yung workers na professional, about 15,000 of the 26 are collated already, di ba? 13,000 of the 26. About 13,000 of the 26, if necessary. Yung sa Lebanon, by contrast, we had about 30,000 there. We only had to repatriate 6,000. No? Tapos, ano yung ba, may choice rin doon sa Lebanon eh. A significant portion, about 18,000, decided to stick it out when there was a problem in Lebanon.
Pero what's the worst case parang scenario that we're facing? Ano yung naging assessment, sir, kanina?
Well, so far wala pa naman total breakdown. No? I mean, yung nakakapasok pa naman tayo sa Egypt, for instance, na meron tayong cooperation from them to get the transit visas, no? So that we can move them from there. Kasi yung Egypt contingent goes to Jeddah, yeah? Goes to Jeddah in Saudi Arabia, and that's where PAL picks them up. PAL has a flight to Jeddah. And that's where we leased the aircraft, or we're in talks to lease the aircraft so that we can move the people from Jeddah back to the Philippines.
Sir, the next question will be coming from Celerina Monte of the Manila Shimbun.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, I just noticed na kasama niyo na si Mr. Del Rosario. Is formal na ba yung appointment niya as DFA
That's it.
Secretary?
As soon as you release me, I'll be swearing him into office.
So parang in principle, siya na talaga.
He will be inheriting a whole set of problems, no? And I think he and I, especially in this crisis, he'll be my lead person there, should be aware of everything that's happening.
Sir, so you've mentioned na nasa alert level din tayo ngayon. So when could be the time na you're going to say na, oh, we have to enforce tong evacuation talaga of all the Filipinos?
Ngayon kasi, well, yesterday's meeting said that there seemed to be a lull. Yung hindi umiinit lalo yung sitwasyon. But again, that will have to be, hindi naman siguro minute by minute, no? But that will have to depend on the assessment of our ambassador there, who is the lead person on the ground. He, I think, is on his way to Benghazi at this point in time, no, to assess the situation in Benghazi. Again, yung Tripoli and Benghazi are opposite ends of the country.
H. De La Cruz.
Sir, given the violent protest po sa Libya, may recommendation na daw po ba yung Palace or the DFA to suspend ties with Libya due to the violent crackdown by Gaddafi against the protesters because Peru just did, and considering that the Philippines is a strong advocate of human rights, does Manila denounce Gaddafi's violent crackdown?
Maski pa paano, we still have to deal with the government in place to safeguard our OFWs. This would not be the time, no, to break relations with them or increase the tensions that they're undergoing. Baka naman pag-initan pa yung ating mga kababayan doon. First duty of the government is to protect our citizens.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. President, your last question will be coming from Weng De La Fuente.
Good afternoon, sir. Just a clarification. You showed us earlier the map, sir. So, have you decided kung saan po talaga yung magiging point of exit if ever na magkaroon talaga ng evacuation?
No, yung have decided, I will not ask our people in Benghazi to travel the breadth of Libya to go to Tunisia, for instance. Siyempre kung ano yung closest area. So we're working on both Tunisia and Egypt, no, as the primary points of exit. Now, if it's possible also, we are also talking to a shipping company na at medyo yung cost is also quite exorbitant. It's about €1 million, no? Kung sakaling kakailanganin to bring them to Malta, which is another nearby area. It really depends on where where they're grouping together. Ano ba yung closest to exit Libya and para get away from the violence that's happening there. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the Malacanang Press Corps. Thank you, Radio TV Malacanang, and have a pleasant good afternoon, everybody.